Hi, Nevaeh. Hi, Nakota. It's time for another story. Story time with Nana Eva. I don't want you to forget who I am. Okay? So you ready? Because this time we're going to read Piggy and Daddy Go Fishing. I don't even know if you know what fishing is, but you're going to learn today. Here we go. Piggy woke up excited. Today he was going fishing with Dad for the very first time. See how he's getting his boots on and getting ready to go fishing? He's so excited. Dad was already getting the fishing poles ready and making Piggy's favorite lunch, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on squishy bread. Now all we need are worms, and tonight we'll have the world's most delicious fried fish for supper, said Dad. He likes squishy bread sandwiches. I like squishy bread sandwiches too. So Piggy dug the worms faster than he could say, delicious fried fish. See him digging up the worms? Aren't they cute? They're kind of cute for worms, huh? Cute itsy bitsy worms. Okay, let's see. I can't read this upside down like I can Dr. Seuss. When they got to the river, Dad asked Piggy if he wanted to bait his own hook. Okay, said Piggy. He took a worm and hung it over the hook. The worm wiggled and fell off. Piggy tried again. This time, he tied the worm in a knot around the hook, and the worm untied itself. Look at that. He's trying to get the worm on the hook, but the worm just keeps wiggling away. Piggy, I'm afraid you really have to poke the hook into the worm. Piggy looked at the worm, and the worm smiled at Piggy. See the worm smiling at him? Aww. Do you want me to do it? Asked Dad. Dad looked at the worm, and the worm smiled at Dad. Let's use bread instead. Isn't that cute? They didn't want to use the worms because the worm was smiling at them, so they decided to use bread, their squishy bread that they use to make sandwiches for the bait, so they can catch fish. So Piggy and Daddy pinched bread from their sandwiches and squished it into little balls and baited their hooks. See them putting the bread on the hooks there? Then they threw their lines in the water. There they are, casting their lines in the water so they can catch a fish. Now, said Dad as he sat down, you have to be very patient. Fishing takes a lot of waiting. I don't like waiting. A fish has to be hungry. It has to think about eating. It has to find the bait. It has to look at the bait and think about it and say to itself, that looks pretty tasty. It has to nibble the bait and decide if it really likes it. And if it's really good, then finally it has to bite the whole thing, hook and all. You have to taste food too, don't you, Nevaeh and Nakota? You have to taste the food a little bit to see if you like it. And then if you like it, you gobble it all up. Well, it's the same thing with fishing. If the fish likes the bread, they just take a little taste at first. And then if they like it, they gobble it up. They'll take the whole thing. But Piggy wasn't good at waiting. He pulled his line out and threw it back in and pulled it out and threw it back in. Nothing's happening, he said. You can't hurry fish, said Dad. So Piggy finally settled down because he was really wanting to play. He finally settled down and fished with his dad because he figured out that he had to wait and be patient. Soon they both fell asleep. Oh, look at them sleeping on the dock. But they held onto their poles. They held onto their fishing poles. Suddenly, Piggy's pole bent hard. "I got a bite," he shouted. Piggy pulled, the fish pulled. Piggy pulled again, and the fish pulled again, too. The fish jumped. Piggy slipped. Oh, there he is slipping. Daddy grabbed Piggy. Dad slipped. Splash! But finally, Piggy reeled in his fish. "Good job," Dad said. "It's a beauty." So they really had to fight. They had to help each other, didn't they? First, Piggy slipped. His dad helped him, and he slipped. And then finally, Piggy wound up the line and got the fish. Piggy smiled, and then he looked at the fish, and his fish was looking right back at him. Let you see the pictures. "My fish looks sad," says Piggy. "Do you think he really feels sad?" "I don't know. I never thought about it, Dad." Piggy and fish stared at each other. See Piggy and fish staring at each other? Do you think the fish looks sad? I think he does look sad because he wants to be in the water. "Let him go," said, let's see. "Can we let him go?" said Piggy. "Sure," said Dad. So Piggy slipped the fish back into the water. "Bye-bye, fishy," said Piggy. "Watch out for hooks next time." The fish flipped its tail and was gone. Aww. He let the fish go. Then, while they ate lunch, Piggy made more bread balls and tossed them into the water. "What are you doing?" asked Dad. "I'm fishing," said Piggy. "But you're just feeding the fish," said Dad. "I know. That's because it's a different kind of fishing. You should try it," said Piggy. "Look at all the fish," said Dad. "This is fun. Why didn't I ever think to feed the fish fishing?" See? They're feeding the fish the bread now instead of trying to catch them on their hooks. And they're enjoying it so much, kind of like when we go to the park and you feed the ducks. Right? The next day, Piggy and Dad went fishing again. As a special treat, Dad brought donuts. Some for Piggy, some for himself, and the rest for the fish. Well, that's really nice, but I don't think fish should eat donuts, do you? But look how much they're enjoying them. Wow, they're really having a good time. The end, see? That's it. So they went fishing. They didn't want to kill the worm, so they used bread. Then they caught the fish, and they didn't want to kill the fish and eat it because it looked so sad, so they put it back. And then they fed the fish, and they had just as much fun. Pretty good story, huh? All right, I hope you enjoyed it. I love you, love you, love you, love you. Mwah. And I will read you a story again later. I can't wait to give you Zubers on your tummy. Okay, good night.